What's going on, everyone? Rescue J here with episode 13 of the Rescueality Podcast. Today, talking about why did I start a podcast. I am a dog rescuer. I clean up after dogs for a living. What is the reason behind the podcast? And the reason behind wanting to start this podcast is to give a platform for some of my friends, some of my fellow rescuers, organizations, industry professionals, and talk about things that are kind of taboo or not popular, or people just don't want to talk about them. And I plan on doing specific episodes on each of these. But for example, I want to talk about vet care. A lot of different experiences in the vet care field. I know a lot of people have had really negative experiences. Some people have had vets almost like extort them. And then kind of going along with that, real rescuers. There's a lot of rescuers out there that claim that they're rescuers. I'm a rescuer. But they kind of use that as a title. They're not really a rescuer. They're not in the mud, so to speak. Another one would be breeders. That's a huge one. There's actually a story going on about it now. I think it was one of the Kardashians or something. Bought a dog, and instead of rescuing one, that someone pulled up in the same area, there was like 100 of that same breed that needed a home, and she bought one for $5,000 or $7,000 or whatever. Then there's a lot of emergency services recently with the floodings going on all around, the hurricanes, the fires up in Los Angeles. I have really good friends that are emergency service providers and search and rescue, and I'm 100% going to have them on. They have some crazy story, absolutely insane stories that they can tell you. Another one that a lot of people I would say absolutely no one wants to talk about are dog fights. Could be minor, could be major. I don't want to talk about my experience with that just yet. I want to definitely do a full video dedicated about that. But I don't know one dog rescuer. I don't know one shelter. I don't know one humane society that hasn't dealt with that to some extent. And most of the time, especially down here in Mexico with these dogs, there's definitely some stories to be said there. That's going to be a whole nother video, and there's probably going to be multiple videos on all these and more. There's tons of things to talk about, and that's why I wanted to start this, to tell my experience, have other people's experience. Another one, 2019, 1:45 in the morning. I look out my front window. It's probably going to be the thumbnail for this. Wall of fire outside my front window. I head in bed at 1:45. I remember it's 1:45. That's ingrained in my head, and had to evacuate. Well, we're on a ranch with one little SUV, a motorcycle, and 40 dogs. What do you do? Well, I had a couple minutes to make some very difficult decisions, and I made those decisions. And I definitely am going to do an episode on that. That I will never forget that night. I don't like to say I have any real PTSD from it or anything. It's part of my life. I lived it. I'm alive. I didn't get injured, fortunately. But definitely have to do a story on that. And also a lot of what's shown online, a lot of what's on social media, be it Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that, it shows the beauty, shows the picturesque, it shows the wonderful aspects, which are amazing. They're perfect. I do that as well. We post that as well. But as a lot of people know, that is not the full story. There's so many behind the scene things that a lot of people don't realize or don't know, because quite honestly, a lot of people, a lot of rescues don't want to share these. A lot of organizations don't want to share these things that have happened, because you might think differently. Someone might think differently of a rescue if they hear about a dog fight, if they hear they had to make this decision, which didn't sound like the best decision until you got the full story. It's kind of like reading a news headline and going with that instead of actually looking at what happened. A lot of people do that, and it's unfortunate, because if I just go quickly over some things and like, oh yeah, I went through this, oh this dog fight, oh I had to run away from the ranch. What do you mean you had to run away from the ranch? Well, I have to set the backstory. I have to tell you what happened. What do you mean the dogs got into a fight? Well, the dogs were rescued from this. They probably had problems when they were rescued. They were almost dead when we found them. What do you mean fake rescuers? Well, this rescuer calls themselves a rescuer, but I know from firsthand people who have worked with this individual or this organization, and they're like, yeah, everything they do is a lie. And I'm not gonna say anyone in particular, any organization, especially if they're not here to defend themselves. My goal of this podcast isn't to attack. It's not to defame. It's not to kind of speak negatively on things. It's kind of just to speak on things, show my experience, show other people's experience, because there's most people know this, but there is this, and there's some things, for example, military. I'm in Southern California, big military town. I adopt out to a lot of military members, and I've had some of my dogs go through PTSD training for a lot of combat vets. And I've had some individuals, some veterans open up like, yeah, what you see online, that ain't what really going on. I had this happen. I'm like, Jesus, how, like, okay, yeah, that's nothing what news or anything it makes it out to be. It's absolutely insane. It's kind of the same with the rescue world. Not comparing war and rescue, just saying that trying to compare to this to what actually happens compared to what you see about us and what actually happens. And so that's why I'm here. So this setup is going to be fairly mobile. I have a couple lights. I have my camera. I have my microphone, and I kind of bare bones. But I want it bare bones because I want to have like kind of like a mobile podcast setup to where I can still provide good quality, good audio, good video. I realize still not the best, working on it slowly but surely. But I want to provide different people all across the U.S. even. I mean, I'll go across the world. I don't know what the future has in store for me, but I want to hear about a lot of different people's perspectives on things and their experience, and maybe it could even help you. Like, oh, well, if this person went through it, this person went through it, this person went through it, well, then it's probably not all that rare, and they all came out fine. So do you just have to dig in and go through it? Maybe from their experience, they can teach you an easier way to deal with something. I have a lot of experience, unfortunately, having animals pass away. That's a part of rescue. And I adopt out dogs to people who they lost one dog and they can't, or they're about to lose one dog or animal and they can't possibly fathom the idea of that even happening. And so I kind of talk to them, and I'm no psychologist, but just being in this industry, I'm like, as long as you provided the best life for them, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. You unfortunately can't save them all. And that's the motto for rescue. I think if you had to sum up rescue in one sentence, it would be You can't save them all. It's honestly as simple as that. So I am really gonna button down and try and do some videos, increase the quality, have some good people on, and have an awesome, excellent podcast. Starting with these videos. Probably not the prettiest backdrop, but hey, starting out somewhere, and I'll start building up, and once I get kind of an audience and I see the direction that people want to come, and if someone wants a specific video, about this topic or that, we will do what we can, and I'd love to interact with people and answer any questions. So thank you for watching this episode. Comment down below if you want me to talk about anything specific, and I'll see you in the next one.